The differences between the largest businesses and the smaller ones is really just the levels by which they make decisions and they can scale. And in real time, and for larger businesses, they are able to make decisions, determine what actions they need to take, and then from that, move forward to implement what they've thought of. And so if you look at Apple, for an example, they have the ability to be able to look at an update or feature that they want to create. They have the staff and the willpower and the manpower to do so. They create the update, they publish it, and that update comes to our phones within a short amount of time. For business owners, for smallest business owners, one of the main things we have to solve for is making decisions as quickly as possible, and then from that, implementing our ideas into action as quickly as possible, so that way our customers can see it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chris Parks. I'm the owner of CP Digital Studio. We build websites for small businesses, and in today's video, I want to go over what I think is really important for a lot of business owners to understand, which is solving their problems in one day as opposed to waiting days and hours and minutes trying to figure out what to do, right? And so imagine solving all of your problems in one day instead of waiting 2 weeks. Imagine being able to call or rely on someone that is able to fix your WordPress site, fix your Wix site, or beyond that. If we're just thinking about your business, if you have a distribution error or a distribution bottleneck, imagine having someone or something that is able to actually solve that problem within a span of a few hours, as opposed to waiting what may take days or weeks or nights, right? Professional help, structure, and setup allows for business owners to have a lot of clarity. And the larger businesses do this so well where they can implement their ideas in what seems like an overnight time span, whereas small businesses like you and I have to put in what seems like a lot more effort. And it's not just about people, it's about the ability to make decisions that impact the business in one day, right? And so when we talk about this, again, if you can think about some of the larger companies that we have, what takes us 2 weeks to figure out will take a larger company an hour. What takes us, 45 minutes to decide on, a CEO has made a decision in 1 minute and they're able to implement and move forward. And what takes and in order for us to be able to move that quickly, one, it takes experience, but more than that, it just takes a considerable amount of willpower to move forward. And making a decision and taking action on those things is probably one of the most important attributes that a business owner can have. Because when you look at the opposite end of that spectrum, you get someone that is not making a decision, someone that is paralyzed. They call this analysis paralysis by the idea or thought of moving forward to the point that no action is actually taken. You get someone on the opposite end of the spectrum that is so afraid of the consequences or so afraid of the result of their actions that they're incapable of moving forward. And this is something that a lot of small business owners, even myself, can relate to. But the speed with which you overcome that barrier is also the speed by which you can determine your success. And this is what is called the expert advantage. And so many business owners, a lot of us, and this is I was included in this, but we've put systems in place to actually remove this. A lot of us lose precious time because we're just guessing, or we lose a lot of time because we're focused on the wrong things. We're taking action on our day-to-day lives. We're taking action on, small social media posts, but not the one thing, one or two things that will move the ball forward in the business. And so the problem is in business and in life, when you do not address the problems that are the largest and most concerning to you, you will feel the effect of that later on. There's no way around it. In order to solve the problems of the business, you must solve the problems of the business, which means taking the time to sit down, look at what is in front of you, whatever may be holding you back, whether it's distribution, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, whatever it is, and confronting that to the best of your ability with all of your might and all of your strength so that way you can overcome that problem and move forward. And this is expensive in terms of time and in terms of effort. Blood, sweat, and tears is a phrase that I would use, and it's expensive to move like this because it takes you must remove all distractions and all barriers preventing you from moving forward and remove the guesswork. You must be certain in the area that you want to move in, and this is a skill. If it sounds abstract, it's because you haven't mastered the ability to do this yet. When you have the time to commit to a mission, you don't deviate from it. You continue to push forward despite whatever obstacles may come your way. And so I want to put this in real hours for you, in real tangible things so that way you can understand it. And you can look this up for yourself so you don't have to take my word for it. The average employee wastes about 20 hours a week. And this is an employee, not a business owner. The average employee wastes about 20 hours a week just doing mundane tasks that do not move the business forward. This is a combination of managers not getting on employees. This is a combination of employees also not taking their jobs too seriously. It's a number of things, but the statistic is very clear in that 20 hours a week in every business goes wasted by employees because of indecision by executives or managers or higher ups, supervisors. And this is a proven thing. And if you've worked in any corporate environment, you can see this for yourself. There have been plenty of times where you've received an email or an order from your superior, and you may not have been able to act on that immediately because of contractors or because of bottlenecks in the business or because it may not be in your department. There are plenty of times where I'm sure you've relayed something to your supervisor and no action has been taken on that item. And to this day, there's probably no action taken on that item. And you start to ask yourself why. It's indecision. It's either indecision or supervisors, business owners being focused on something that is not important on the business. And this is a real bottleneck and a real constraint in your business if you are running one, because you spending 20 hours of your week on something that is not important or something that you're not able to decide on is wasting precious hours that you don't have, especially if you're operating your business while you're trying to run your day-to-day life or even while you're trying to run and continue on your main job. This becomes incredibly taxing and frustrating. And again, to overcome this, you have to build a skill to be able to take away the things that do not matter, decide and prioritize what is important to your business, whether that's marketing, whether that's sales, whether that's distribution, whatever it may be, and focusing all your energy and effort on tackling that and having systems in place to solve that problem. And so the problem is not that the task is impossible. Most of the time, the problem is not knowing what buttons to press or what things to do in order. And you're guessing a lot of times. What we try to do here at CP Digital Studio is try to remove as much of that guesswork as possible so that way you have systems in place in order to operate. And a lot of these systems come from internally in the website and also things that are website adjacent. So when it comes to your CRM, if you don't have a CRM, you probably should work on acquiring one. But this is the platform by which you manage all of your leads and people coming into your business. It's the platform by which you can literally see in a landscape everyone that has contacted your business, see which clients are most likely to move forward, determine which clients are not, and then have a system in place to contact those clients over and over again until you actually get a response from them. And so these are technical hurdles that you have to overcome as a business. What we try to do is we try to create your website to the point where it is working for you, not just stagnant. We try to put systems in place on the back end. If it's in inventory and distribution, we put databases in place where you can actually manage your inventory. You can see the analytics on your site. You don't have to guess. And so we try really, really hard to remove the guesswork on your website so that way you have the ability to, and not only your website, but your CRMs as well, and whatever other systems you're using, we try to integrate all of those things together so that way you are removing the guesswork from your business as much as humanly possible so you can make quicker decisions. And so a few things that we overcome that are really, really easy for us: domain integration. A lot of our business owners, I would say 85%, give or take, I have to check that. About 85% of our business owners come from a GoDaddy site, a WordPress site, something other than the platform that we use to host. That's no problem. Some Sometimes it can feel like moving that website or migrating your website over to a different provider can be more trouble than what it's worth. You may think that it will take 2 weeks when it really just takes an hour. You may think that it will ruin and mess up your email when in reality, if it's done correctly, it will not. And so we try to take care of these things on day one when our clients come to us because we want to make sure that your business continues to flow and you can continue to transition into your new phase of life in your new business, or rather, your the new way of you doing your business via your website that will actually work for you. And we try to take care of these things within the first 24 hours. So that way you don't have to worry about, will my email not work or will my domain transfer over? These are relatively simple things we've solved time and time again that we're really, really good at this point. Professional emails, booking systems, things of this nature. Again, these are really, really simple for us. We've done this plenty of times to the point where we know how to set up business emails. If you need more than one email for you and your team, we're able to use different platforms to be able to do that for you. Whatever platform you prefer, that's fine. We're just here to make sure that you have the tools that you need, whether it's internal communication, storage for your documents, and of course your website, all together in one system so you can manage all of these things. Booking system, payment integration, we try to take care of these things as well. These are technical hurdles that if you're not tech savvy, you may not be able to solve. And we just try to do our best to make sure we solve that as quickly as possible. So you have a means to collect payment, you have a booking system in place, and we try to remove as much as possible any kind of clerical work that you may have to do. So that way we are the ones integrating and building your website and your the foundation for your business. And you can use that to take off and scale and escalate faster than your competition normally would. And of course, we try to provide as much clarity with services as possible. And so the core thing I want to leave you with today is that expert speed and strategic problem solving are things that larger businesses do at scale, and this more than anything is the reason why they are able to succeed and at times seem like they're able to move overnight, whereas it may take us small business owners uh, significantly more time. For some it may take a week, for some it may take 6 months, for some it may take 3 days. But the ability with which you are able to make those strategic decisions and move forward based on the systems that you have in place is imperative for your business. And what we try to do is give you as much speed, as much back end system development as we possibly can, so that way your systems are automated along with your website and your platform so that you are moving along. The website is never just the website. It's never just a place where people can come and see who you are. That's a basic site that anyone can do. What is more difficult is getting a website that draws leads and, more importantly, has systems in place that allow for you to excel and not think about the things that may not be important. Sales are always important, but if your website has a means by which you can book people and get reservations to talk to them, leads, in other words, your effort becomes significantly less in what you have to do for the business. All of the back end matters when it comes to your website. And all of these systems have to communicate and work together in order for you to be able to be successful. And so common timelines that you may see with other web developers is, again, the time to launch is usually about 14 days. There's a high stress level there because sometimes, respectfully, the web developers may not be, how would we put this? The web developers may not be as familiar with your business as you would like for them to be. There may even be a language barrier there. And many developers are trying to get to good enough as opposed to having systems in place for your business. And so there are a lot of different constraints that stop you from moving forward, and your process may take about, 14 days and beyond, right? So 2 weeks and beyond. What we try to do is we try to make these systems and put these systems in place day one. So what does this look like? Day one, from the time that we're actually launching your site, we take care of all of the back end. Your emails are going to start working. We're going to get your domain transferred over if you have another product. We're going to take a look at your website to figure out what platform you're using right now, how your current website is built, and look through all of these things and start coming up with a plan on day one of how we can make your website better, improve your offer, improve your lead magnets, so that way we can, again, continue to generate these clients over and over again. We try to remove as much of the guesswork as possible on day one so that we know what we are building for, who we are building towards, and what systems we need to put in place in order to get you as successful as possible. You're not managing any of this other than yay or nay, because we will update you on the website, obviously. And all you have to do is tell us what you like and what you don't like, but the actual development, the time that you used to take in terms of putting in the pictures and editing the fonts and editing the words, that's done. You have no responsibility in that regard. Your only responsibility is to make sure that you articulate the value and the uniqueness of your business so that way we can make a website that truly works for you. Again, on the back end, from the technical side, we're taking care of all of the back end, automations, systems in place, payment processing, all of that, so that way you can just focus on selling and doing what you do best. And our focus is to help, how can I put this? Our business is to make your business successful. And so we try to do that as best as we possibly can. Your focus is now shifted from managing the day-to-day operations of the website to learning new skills and new avenues by which you can make money, learning new offers and more lead magnets that you can use to get more clients to your site and provide the most value to them. And our focus becomes just continuing to build those systems and helping you grow your business. We quite literally bridge the gap between what is a commonplace website to what becomes an expert corporate level website just within a few hours. And the way that we're able to do that is by working intently with you, making sure that you understand that we are here to help you, and really getting into the details. We probably ask more questions than any other web developer out there on how does your business actually function. We need to know this in order to ensure that we're adding the most value, not only to you, but to your clients. And so we take a lot of time just to go into what does your business do? How do we make money? And how do you give your product or your service to your client? So that way we can form the website in a way where we automate some of these processes and create a system for you and have the website actually work for you as an asset, not just as another stagnant site. And so if this sounds interesting to you and you're ready to launch and you're ready to at least discuss, the possibilities of what your website can do, contact us. We're not trying to sell you on the first day. Let's figure out the 1 or 2 bottlenecks that are in your business today and figure out how we can solve that today so that we can get your business up and running today. That's the goal. Subscribe and like the video. We really appreciate it if you guys can help us out. Contact information is in the video description. Bye-bye for now.